Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies. And you're Brett White.
And I'm Brett White. Hi.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
It's on me, guys. It's
So,
on me.
to be fair, we have been having some tech issues today. Usually when a guest comes back for the second time, we do remind them of the intro. And we're running a little bit late. It's our fault.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure we had as much time as
I emailed
possible.
Brett. I was like, "Do you need a reminder on the segments?" He's like, "No, I got it." So I'm like, "This
I
guy's
said
a
no. I am
pro.
complicit. I'm complicit.
It's Brett White from Pop Heist,
How
from
about
what I
that?
understand.
Hi.
What is a pop heist? What are we talking about?
Is someone had a hard time finding a new job, so they just made one themselves.
Hey.
Now I've launched a new website that is driven by passion and not the algorithm, which passion means please buy subscriptions and pay, because that's the only way we make any money and survive these days. You guys know the deal,
Oh,
right?
we do.
We know the
yes,
deal.
we do.
We know
Yeah.
the deal. What can people expect?
But I
over
launched
on the
with
Pop
a
Heist?
the what?
What can
Sorry.
people? No, you're fine. What can people expect over on the Pop
yeah.
Heist?
Well, we launched with 13 Hallmark reviews
Okay.
that I
Nice.
managed to write while launching a website, which was stressful. And since then, I've done 2 more, including Sugarplummed. So if you want spoilers, you can go and see my review of that right now. But my guide to doing drag, my guide to the X-Men, interviews, lots of weird stuff from our freelancers, including a fact checking of Arise Serpentor Arise, the season 2 premiere of G.I. Joe,
Of course.
which I did not write.
What? You didn't get
It's
to that
all
one?
over the gamut, baby.
Now, Brett, we had a lot of people. The people would have been angry if you didn't join us again. So this is a big season 2 years in a row. It's now a tradition, Brett.
right.
You're a part of us now for the holidays.
Please. And I love that I've jumped up. Didn't I do like a time for pronoun to come home for Christmas last
Yeah,
year? I can't remember.
you've gotten upgraded. You've gotten upgraded for sure.
Yeah, it's Sugarplummed.
Yeah.
Sugarplumbed's a little bit of a bigger. Although some might argue the 5th sequel in a franchise.
In a Blake Shelton produced
man.
franchise would maybe be a bit.
I had to
bigger
tell.
deal.
I told somebody that there were 5 or 6 of those or whatever, and I about blew their minds. They couldn't believe it. So
That's great.
Yes, but this is a little
It's
bit
like him, her, them, they. Oh God, like time for it. I don't know.
It Pennywise coming up for Christmas. That'd be great.
Yeah.
You'll float too. A reminder: you can get Christmas movie Magic. I don't know if you've got a chance to play this yet, Brett, but it's our very fun card game that you can get to play along while you watch these movies. We still got quite a few movies left, even though we're approaching closer to Christmas. But we got 6 terrestrial movies left after this week.
That's
Dano.
right.
And then a handful.
But who's
of,
counting? You know.
Right.
Yeah, I walked in the office today and Dan said 6 more.
Yeah.
So
6
he's
more.
he's
One
feeling
more
great.
full weekend. That's
right.
it.
That's right. Deckthehallmark.com/game if you would like to get your hands on this. And of course, we watched this movie on Philo, and you can watch this movie as well as this that we're doing right now.
As
We're
well as
talking
this.
As well
Yes.
as this.
It's a weird pause.
I
yes.
know it was a weird
Yeah,
pause, and
yeah.
I realized it too late. But philo.tv/DTH to get your hands on all the movies. All the movies.
Your eyes on them even.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get your hands on the remote, and then your eyes on the movies.
That's right.
That's what we're trying
Unlimited
to
DVR. You got it.
That's exactly.
You nailed
right.
it.
Shall we talk to
Philo
Sugarplummed?
just canceled subscription.
No,
Oh,
don't
man.
say it. Don't even joke.
Write about that on Pop
Don't,
Heist.
yeah. We'll
Yes.
give you, if that happens,
I'll
we'll give you that
expose.
scoop.
Yes.
Expose.
Yeah.
I love
How
it.
Deck the Hallmark blew their sponsorship.
Man, you'd have so many stories.
There's so many.
Do you have enough internet space?
So many opportunities.
Yeah, we would
For
crash your
articles there.
site. You
Yeah,
don't have the.
that's right.
You don't have the space.
We would heist your pop.
Let's get to Sugarplummed, shall we? December 8th, 2024 is when it originally premiered. If you missed it, it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with a promotion for the Harmony Channel. They are airing a marathon marathon of their popular Sugarplum series, and viewers can win a home decorating contest. And it's going to be a big deal for the network. Cut to real life. Emily is a mom of a moody, artistic teenage girl named Nina and a tick-tocking teenage boy named Max. And she is married to Ben, an architect who never understands what his son is doing. And I mean, fair. Emily is very type A, complete with her Christmas checklist. Her family doesn't care for the checklist. They just kind of want to do their own thing. And so we'll see how that turns out. Emily's a hotshot deal maker with an assistant who spends her days not working, but watching made-for-TV Christmas movies. Emily explains that these movies are dumb and they all follow the same rules. She says, of course, I'd love for my life to be like one of these movies, but it's just not realistic. Her assistant encourages her to live in the moment instead of focusing on the list, and maybe she'll be surprised. Emily's mom collected ornaments, and so when she finds out that those ornaments were delivered not to her house but to the office, she runs by the office late at night to grab them. The box that they're in breaks. They all fall through to the ground, including a star. She picks up the star, and on the back of it, it says something like, "Whatever, make a wish, a big guy." And so she looks up, and on the computer screen are these Sugarplummed movies. And so she wishes for a Sugarplum Christmas. She wants to be like she's in one of these movies. And just then the star begins to glow. All of the lights in the office begin to flicker, and suddenly Sugarplum magically appears in her office. Sugarplum is just as confused as Emily is and asks Emily to help her get back to her town of perfection. Emily is overwhelmed and says, "I'm going crazy," and she runs to leave. Sugarplum follows her, and they figure out that people can see Sugarplum, but they don't recognize her as Sugarplum. It's like when people see me and they know me from Deck the Hallmark, but they don't know who Dan is. Sugarplum is confused by the lack of snow on the ground and explains that snow is a part of the rules. Emily is shocked and asks, "The rules are real?" And Sugarplum is like, "Yeah, I mean, look, it's a book." She says, "Read a book," literally. She pulls out the book and says, "It's pretty clear here. I think what's happening is I am here to help make sure that you have a perfect Christmas. And after I do that, I'll get to go back to my home." The next day, Emily wakes up and is shocked to find that Sugarplum has brought in a full decoration crew, decorator.
Yeah,
the crew,
decorating team.
A decorating team to her house.
Decoration crew.
A
I feel like we
decoration
let 'em
crew.
hang out there for
Right
way
after I
too long.
said it, I was like, I don't think that's a thing. And they decorate the house to make it look like a winter wonderland. Emily is surprised to learn that the decorations are, Sugarplum is surprised to find out that the decorators are not working out of the goodness of their hearts, but for money. What is this world? Luckily, she has a bag full of tiaras from all the princes that she's met over the years. When Sugarplum finds out that Emily has a big city job, she just wants to tag along and see what that's like. She listens in as Emily has a meeting with a developer who wants to tear down a ski lodge. Sugarplum walks in and works her magic, and she helps the two enemies, Vic Webster and Fiona Gubelman, fall in love. And boy, is it steamy, give those two a movie ASAP. The magic of Sugarplum continues when they find out that the headphones that Nina wants on her for Christmas is only available if you win a Christmas competition. Sugarplum absolutely crushes it. Emily is too busy to show up for Max's career day event, so Sugarplum agrees to go. And at first, the kids make fun of her for being weird and makes fun of Max for bringing in a weirdo. These kids are ruthless. But then Sugarplum pulls out a magic snow globe and it causes it to snow indoors. Max becomes the most popular kid in school, at least for a day. Emily gets great news. Her newly decorated house has secured a spot in the Harmony Channel's Christmas house competition. That's just what this family needs. But the magic begins to fade. The power goes out due to too many Christmas lights. Vic Webster actually wasn't a nice guy after all and just was trying to trick her into giving up the ski lodge. Sugarplum gets sued for cutting down a tree that's in the neighbor's yard and then gets arrested for causing snow in the school. The police are baffled by Sugarplum, seeing as how she has snowflakes as fingerprints. Luckily, Emily knows the law and is able to get her released. But it's getting too real for Emily. Her son is suspended. Her daughter is mad at her for ignoring her this holiday season. Sugarplum realizes that the magic is fading. Emily thinks that as long as they win the contest, it'll be okay. That's the thing that will bring this family back together, and it'll be this memory that they can hold on to. But things get out of control when she has a ton more decorations to try to ensure that they win the contest. She doesn't even realize that her family is absolutely hating what is going on. Her kids say, "We didn't ask for any of this. We just want Christmas to be how it used to be." And so they all leave her alone and go to the Christmas pageant to see Nina perform. Sugarplum helps Emily realize that her family doesn't need a perfect Christmas. They need her. Emily pulls out of the competition and makes it in time to see her daughter perform in the pageant, but Nina's freaking out and runs away, doesn't want to go on stage. And Emily gives her a little pep talk about how you don't have to worry about being perfect. You just have to have fun. A speech that Dan gives me every day.
Every day. That's right.
And that's
We
why I
use a
am
little
who I
pep talk.
am. That's exactly right. The performance is great, complete with some Christmas magic. Everything is as it should be, and Sugarplum says that it's time for her to go. She suddenly is transported back into the TV, and the family sits down to watch a Sugarplum Christmas, and they realize that the friend that's been hanging out all week looks a whole lot like Sugarplum. And that, my friends, was Sugarplummed.
We did it. Yeah.
It was a lot. Let's take a. I know.
heck of a synopsis.
I know. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We will break this movie down
Pop heisted.
with Pop Heist. Pop. Here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking Sugarplummed. Brett White is joining us from Pop Heist, and it's time to break down Sugarplummed. We're gonna break it down with 4 segments. We're gonna start with the hot take, and we're gonna let Brian go
Brian goes
first.
first.
So
It's
that
in his rider.
so that
There's
Brett
nothing we can do.
so that Brett can learn what not to do. Brian,
Oh God.
what did you think about Sugarplum?
Yeah, set the bar real low here. Yeah, freaking like this one a lot. Okay, this poking fun at the tropes, having it all crash down unexpectedly. I didn't see that coming all the way. Massacre, tea in the ocean, the twist of everything coming down. Ryan Landell's. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Wrote and
It's one of
directed.
those.
He wrote and
Both
directed
this and Santa Tell Me.
Santa Tell Me.
Yeah.
What a year.
What a year. What a year.
What a year.
You imagine
Yeah.
of him. and-
Auteur.
Yeah,
Yeah, and auteur. He's the Chris Nolan of Hallmark.
he's right there.
Yeah.
Imagine if him and Russ Hainline got to talking. Oh,
boy,
we're not
howdy.
ready for that.
I've heard they hate each other, actually.
Oh, man, actually, that might work better.
Quite a feud.
Feuding Christmas movie writers?
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Write
I'm
that
gonna
down
write
right when I throw it to Brett.
So I had a great time. I got to go write that synopsis for that movie.
Brett, what'd you think of Sugarplummed?
It's really it for your hot take.
So as editor-in-chief of my own website, I get to do whatever I want. And from my Hallmark reviews, I've always wanted to do like Marvel trading cards from Marvel Series 3 trading cards with the power ratings on the back. Except instead of like fighting ability and strength and stuff, it's coziness and festivity. And of the 6 traits, this movie gets a 7 out of 7 on 4 of them. This is like a cosmic being level power. This is like the Galactus of Hallmark movies. This was amazing. It checked every single thing. I thought it was smart and subversive. I did not know where it was going. I thought Janelle Parrish created a character for the ages.
For the ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved everything about this movie. Also, the cinematography. I thought this was shot beautifully. Looked like I could see this on a big screen, on a larger screen than my old television, which is what I watched it on. This 1988.
Oh my God.
Television.
Really?
Look at that.
You get Philo on that. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, Philo.
It's one of them smart television sets.
That's right. Just look at it.
Yeah.
Heisted it.
Yeah, I gotta say, first of all, I agree with everything that these fellows have said. This movie is phenomenal. one of the best of the year. I think it could be even duking it out as best of the year for me. I thought that this movie was so much fun, and it's long. It's been a long time coming for Hallmark to finally do a movie like this, where they kind of make fun of the movies, but also what the public at large thinks about the movies. You see the stories every year about how the Hallmark movies are all the same, and here's take this thing and find out if you are the person that goes back to the small town or whatever. Like there's all of these tropes, and I think that this movie does a great job of playing into those while also still at the same time having a Hallmark movie in it with this family. And I thought that the family, I thought that the actor who plays Nina was phenomenal. More of that. But I thought that this movie hit basically every beat that I could possibly want it to. Loved it. Dana?
Yeah, it's going to end up in my top 10, not my top 5. I guess I'm a little bit more mixed on it than these guys.
Was Confessions of a Christmas Letter better than this?
No, and no 1,000 times no. But I will say this: the good news here is Janelle Parrish. I mean, best character of the year. Want to see this character. I want to see Sugarplum in one movie every Christmas season. I want to see as much of that character and as much of Janelle Parrish playing that character as I can possibly see. She's phenomenal in this movie. I guess for me, the first 40 minutes of this movie are also great. Maybe my favorite 40 if we just get to have the first 40 minutes. And Hallmark is trying to walk a pretty fine line here, which is we're making fun of our movies. We're telling you that real life shouldn't be like these movies, but also we do think they should be a little bit like these movies. And we even get her at the end kind of make the painting crooked a little and wink at the camera. And it's a really fine line to walk. And I feel like in the second half of this movie, when everything unravels, I didn't find myself caring about any individual thing. I applaud Hallmark for not having a love story be the A, B, or C plot in this movie. And I thought Janelle Parrish was amazing. But as soon as we get off the train where everything is just like, they're the rule book, here it is, until where like the rule book's wrong, it actually makes things worse. I would have almost liked to see it fully commit to that or keep being basically Hallmark's version of Elf, which the first 40 minutes of this are Hallmark's version of Elf. You know, Janelle Parrish is her own character, but it's very similar to Elf in the standpoint that she decorates the house in the middle of the night. They shows up to a big business working job and kind of ruins everything. Like there's a lot of similarities to the movie Elf, and that's not a complaint. That's not a bug. That's a feature. I would have rather continued on that path or seen everything go just full calamitous. And instead, Hallmark's kind of hedging their bet here and going, yeah, it's not like that in real life, but also we still would like for you to watch our movies. And so it almost felt like a commercial at the end for me. Having said that, when it's good, it's good. And Janelle Parrish is undeniable in this movie. And
We give her the decky now, or
she's amazing. She's amazing. I do think she should win whatever that is, a real Hallmark queen this year, the decky. I think she's given the best performance, and I think she's a star of this movie. Definitely in my top 10 right now, but not as good overall. And I don't care about anything in this movie as much as I cared about at least one relationship or one plot point in the top 5 that I have, and that was a deciding factor for me. So there you have it.
Aaron brought this up while watching it, but I think we could all agree. Let's retire Debbie McComer's Mrs.
No
Miracle.
more Mrs. Miracle.
And
Give
let's
us
just
this
do
every
Sugar
time.
Plums.
do these.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
do Sugar Plums.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I wanted to react. Like what I found fascinating about this movie, talking about walking that fine line, is that it almost, I took it as Emily's to-do list ends up being just as impractical and ridiculous as Sugarplum's big book of rules.
Yes.
Which is an interesting way of calling out, like, we all think we're better than Hallmark movies, and we watch
right.
them, we're
That's
like,
true.
oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But what this movie does is be like, but yeah, you think you're better, but you know what? You trying to get that perfect Christmas photo a week before Christmas
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
also equally ridiculous. And that is like such a level of interesting nuance that I never would have expected from a Hallmark movie. And when she says no to the Christmas contest, which is of course happening on Christmas Eve because no one has families to be with on Christmas
Duh.
Eve. Loved it.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic.
And I think if you read it like that, that's a great read. I think you got to have this near the top of your list. For me,
great
the first
observation.
half of this movie is better than the second half, in my opinion.
I'm excited. I think currently I have it too, but I there's a world where I move
You
it
have
over.
it two.
I have
overall.
it two, and
Wow.
I there's a world.
Wait,
where
what
I
is
put
the
it
best? What are
His
y'all
Holiday
thinking is the best
Touchdown
so
one.
far?
I have Holiday Touchdown as
Yeah.
one, but
It made me cry.
Yeah, me too.
There's
And I cry at these movies very much never. And so Holiday Touchdown 1, and currently I've moved Finish Line up to 2. So Finish Line I really
Good.
enjoyed.
I have
Yay, Nicole,
Carol for
my-
2. Still in my top spot.
Carol for 2 over here. This guy.
Carol
Yeah.
for two.
That is number 1 spot.
Let's get to all the feels. This is where we talk about what this movie gave us feels. Brian?
Yeah, this one, I mean, the scene where she comes to life in the office was really well
Yeah.
done. But my feels was something I mentioned, and we all sort of like, I don't know if we all got on board with this, but Carlo Marx in a sort of a bad guy role,
Stop it.
handing a summons.
Stop it.
He showed up, and I go, this is what I want to see him doing. I want to see him doing this stuff. This is
But
great.
this-
Great cameo.
I want to
for
see Carla Marx any day and twice on Sunday.
This is one of my wait whats, but we can do it now, which is like the way this movie uses cameos was weird to me. Like Vic Webster shows up for one scene of this movie, originally as a goateed bad guy, which is hilarious, and I'm here for it. But then we get like 3 character changes for him, and we never see him again. So it's like, turns out he was lying to me about the blah, blah, blah.
But we can
turns
see him
out
doing
we
it.
all are in love. And Carly Martin, like, I want cameos like Ben Ayers. Like Ben Ayers knows how to cameo, like wrinkle the page, make it funny. These are what they do here is they have Carlo Marx and Vic Webster in a scene each, and then make them, especially Vic, a part of the movie without having them on screen. And that's not a fun cameo. That was a big like record scratch for me. I was hard disagree with you on that.
I don't agree. I thought that the scene with Fiona was phenomenal. I thought it was great. Great moment.
Yeah, it's not how I want a cameo.
And Hillary wants to know how excited I was to see Carla Marx show up.
Yeah, so excited.
Real excited.
As excited. Whatever the
Real
opposite of
excited.
that is, that's what I was.
Brett, you got any feels?
Wait, like so my 6 categories at Pop Heist are coziness, festivity, merriment, sentiment, surprise, and romance. And
guy's
this
doing
movie
it.
was hitting
This is-
6 on
this should be my
coziness,
feels.
7 on festivity, merriment, sentiment, and surprise. Romance was where I was like, man, this is a 2-3. Like it
Yeah.
was so below, but at the very, very, very end, it got up to a 4 because what I realized when she's having the talk with Nina, and Nina's like, I want to go to music college. Why are you not? And then when Emily looks at her, is like, you're unstoppable. That just,
Yeah.
a mother telling her daughter, no, I believe in anything you can do. You're unstoppable, like tears. And then when I realized like the love story of this movie isn't a man, woman, 2 leads. It's the family.
That's right.
The
Yes.
movie's like arc is the love story. The romance is between this 4-person family unit. And then it just like, and I just absolutely loved it. So it got up to a 4 out of 7 on my romance.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And it's something that we've been asking for for a while now is for, hey, let's just do an actual full movie where it's not about the romance isn't the A storyline. And maybe there's not even like, obviously they're married and that's a part of it, but it's not like they had some
Definitely
sort of
not A, B, or
crazy.
C.
No. And
Yeah.
so
That
like,
could have been the whole movie is
Yeah.
Sugarplum trying to help her. Like, you need
Right.
to plan the perfect date. You
And
guys need to
thrilled
walk
it
down
wasn't.
Main Street.
This is so much better than that. And so I'm so happy that we finally did it. And this movie, I think it's the funniest movie of the year. And it wasn't like this
Oh, God.
movie that was like, we went into Three Wise Men. We were like, it's going to be funny. This is got
Yeah.
the funny guys. And so going into this, I laughed so much. And the elf trope, it works for like Noelle. I love Noelle on Disney Plus because it's just so like this fish out of water going in and try like it always works for me. I think it's so funny. And this movie made me laugh more than any other movie this year. And so that makes me happy. Dana?
2 scenes, one.
When do we talk about our favorite jokes? Do we have favorite jokes?
You can go
You can
favorite
go favorite
jokes.
jokes
Brett,
whenever
go
you
favorite
want.
jokes.
Jeez, yeah.
I mean, whenever she's like, this is my friend Sue Garplum, and then that's just her name the entire
Yeah,
time.
the
I love
Garplum
that.
family. Yeah.
I also love that they felt the need to explain what a Hallmark movie was at the very
Yeah.
beginning, which she was like, can you please not watch full-length made-for-TV original holiday movies at your desk? It's like, God,
Yeah,
we
it's
know
great.
what.
Yeah,
We all do
know
it.
what that is for
Yeah.
sure.
Some of us because it's our job, some of us not.
Yeah,
I
of course.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 scenes for all the feels. One in the pawn shop where she explains how she has all this from all the different princes. That's funny.
That is funny.
That's just good. That's just a good time.
Yeah.
Like there should be a few princes
so
just walking around here incognito.
Yeah.
That's prime stuff.
It
That's
is.
as good as it gets. Really funny. And then to Brett's point, the best direction of the year or cinematography, whoever we'd like to give the credit to there, probably a team effort. The family group hug in this movie where you get a close up of every family member's face.
Oh, in
Nailed
the
it.
hug. Oh,
Nailed it. Yes. Very, very well done. Really good stuff. That is above and beyond what Hallmark I've ever thought was capable of doing. So
Yes.
above and beyond
The
there.
most unrealistic part is Sugarplum going up and being like, "It's like a movie. It's not my
It
movie.
is-
It's not a movie you'd
yes.
see on a
No,
scene that you'd see
it's
on
a
Sugarplum.
real movie. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
we all were like, what a scene.
For the record, weirdly enough, I think Finish Line's also funnier than this movie. I think the Lavi character gets more laughs for me. I think the Lavi character in Finish Line, on top of the fact that Kim Machula and Bo Murchoff had crazy chemistry, for me that movie worked like on levels this movie didn't. But this
dogs
movie
didn't
has
hurt.
its
The dogs don't.
dogs don't hurt,
Dogs
but
don't
this
hurt.
movie has its moments for sure.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the wait, what's, and the what the Hallmark here on
Deck
the
the
Hallmark. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking Sugarplummed. Brett White is here with us. We're breaking this movie down. It's time for the wait, what is where we talk about what this movie made us go, wait, what? Brian, you got anything?
A couple. The mom, Nina just wants to go to Berkeley. Great school.
Great school.
And the mom is
Yeah.
just like, you need some real prospects. We're like, you get into
UC Berkeley. Let's call it a backup school, okay?
I thought they were talking Berkeley School of Music in Boston. You think UC Berkeley?
It was Berkeley and
the
Boston. Oh
music
my God,
school.
yeah.
I mean,
Fantastic.
I mean, just and the whole time I felt like, has she heard her daughter play music? Does she know if she can even sing? Like, does
Yeah.
she even know what her daughter can do?
maybe like Juilliard's a backup, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
In that case, I mean, now we're talking. Now I'm worried about the prospects.
Yeah.
The fruitcakes that burned at the beginning. I think she specifically said, "Family meeting 10 minutes," and then she put the fruitcake in the oven, and then they caught fire within
Yes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, just
You can't do that.
how hot was that?
And if you
oven?
think you're going to sink anything baking past old Bacon Brian over here, you got your
No,
trademark
sirree.
on that one.
Sheesh.
It's a good thing they didn't show her scooping the flour because I know she didn't do
Oh,
it.
God.
she didn't do it
didn't
right.
do
God knows
it right.
that's
Didn't
a
level
disaster.
that. Nina said to her mom at one point before the pageant, she's very nervous. She says, "What if you're right not to believe in me?" And her mom didn't even flinch. Good job. That is how you respond to that pandering. What if you're right? All you want to do is music. All you talk about is
It's time
music.
for Brian's bad parent takes.
Get out of here with this nonsense. What if you're right? What if I can't do it? Get on that stage.
Don't reassure your kid. Don't encourage
You
him.
don't give them an inch.
No.
You want to go to Berkeley?
Till they
You're
move
gonna
away.
go to Berkeley?
You don't
You're
give
gonna
them an
cry
inch.
at the pageant.
The only way this would have been
Terrible
better for
take.
Brian is if they were giving this advice over Zoom because they're halfway around
That's right.
the world.
Yeah.
For their
Far
kids.
away as
That's right.
possible.
That's exactly right.
The internet's
That would've
good.
really-
Why do you have to be there?
That's exactly right.
We don't
better
need to
than
go
the,
to
better than the internet in the
meetings.
studio. That's for sure. That's for sure. Anything else?
And her house was kind of decorated before this list. I feel like she could have checked that one off. Like, give
Okay.
yourself one of the list. So,
Wow.
yeah.
All right. Brett, what you got?
I love that, Hallmark movies are made by people that know TV production and movie production and whatnot. But yet when it comes to how movies and TV shows work in a Hallmark movie, no clue. It's like, we're going to run a contest and we're going to decide the winner on Christmas Eve.
Get outta here.
Same thing as like Jingle Bell Run, where it's like, these people aren't even mic'd all the time.
Oh, it's
the cameras
terrible.
aren't even recording them. And I'm like, it's so preposterous that it's camp.
Yeah.
I end up circling around to loving it.
There's a
And all these
reason
poor
why.
people
There's
that
a
have
reason
to work on
why
Christmas Eve.
Hallmark is only premiering 2 movies the weekend of
Yeah.
Christmas. They're like, we know, Pete, you're
They're
done.
done on
by
the
this point.
20th.
You're done. You're
Yeah,
done.
yeah, we're out. We are gone. And also her being so type A and uptight, but she's planning on taking their Christmas card photo a week before Christmas.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's a good
That
one.
was like, oh, okay,
No.
that makes no sense to me. And then I also love that the star's message was essentially Hallmark Mjolnir. is it was literally like, if they be worthy, your holiday wish will be granted. And I was like, no explanation as to where that star comes from. And I'm like, I hope it shows up in a movie every year. What if it's like we don't even know it's coming? They advertise like a normal Hallmark movie, and then
I love
at the end of Act 1, they pick up the star, and we're like, oh my god, it's a Sugarplummed movie next year Hallmark.
what a
Come on.
treat.
So sign me
Come
up
on.
right now.
I would love that.
That's a
That'd
great
be
idea.
wonderful. Anything else?
No, those are, everything else flawless.
Airtight.
Airtight, flawless.
That's exactly right. I only have two. One, thank God Sugarplummed was here for this competition, because part of the competition is knitting. And if Sugarplummed wasn't there to make a whole sweater, that's days. That's a day-long competition for these headphones, and good luck. So Sugarplummed really saved everybody a lot of hours because she's so good at knitting. And once again, shout out to Erin. She said this one, and I don't want to listen. I got to give credit to where credit is due. At the end of this movie, they all are going to sit down and watch a movie, and they're going to wear their Christmas sweaters. Of course you are.
Yeah, you are.
And to do that, they just put their sweaters over their
formal
fancy
wear, yeah.
formal attire. She's over there in pencil skirt, which I haven't worn, but I can't imagine is what I would want to wear while watching one of these movies. I love it's just like, okay, let's do it. He's got his button-up shirt on.
Yeah,
when I get home, let's go. What do you
Lee
what do you-
Hodo, if you could just grab that.
What are you doing? Nobody is sitting down to watch a cozy Christmas Eve movie in their formal attire, and they're definitely not going to put a Christmas sweater over top of the formal attire. Get out of here with that, Dano.
Yeah, this teenager played like marvelously by, I think it's Kyra LaRoe. I don't know. It could be Kira. There's a lot of different ways that could go. The teenage daughter, who I think does a great job in this movie.
Language of origin?
She, I can't, not right now.
Okay.
Use it in a sentence?
She is her whole life is music, so much so that she has 4 whole posters up in her room, swallowed by white space, one of them just reading Let's Rock. So
Speaks for itself.
awesome. You that's how you know she loves music.
That
It's
teenage girl was walking through the mall one day and
she's
saw
like,
that poster.
is that a Let's Rock poster?
I need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parents are going to hate
me.
this one.
This high school that this son goes to, the week before Christmas, they're holding parents come in for career week because they hate everyone. They hate everyone, and they're going to make all the parents show up to talk about their career the week before Christmas. And I checked the tape on this. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
especially someone who I think might be a weird defense contract, might be an assassin.
Might be an assassin.
Yes.
You're endangering your child and all the students, because I think that there are dots on red dots.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Is that Sniper? You guys see
So
that?
they're doing this the week before Christmas because they hate all of us. And then I checked the tape. According to Maggie Lawson's character, every kid's parent has showed up but them. So this is a school where you have 100% parent participation in high school.
Wow.
That place doesn't exist. That place doesn't exist. I've spent 20 years in high school. They don't exist. Every parent of every kid has been like, yeah, I'll show up for career day for sure. Not in your life. You can't get that many people to go to a first grade hayride. Are you kidding me? By high school? By high school, parents don't care. They're just like, where do I give the check to? All of them have showed up for this, including an assassin. That was wild. That was a wild thing that happened. And then lastly, Maggie Lawson's sweater before the news crew is going to come in gets eggnog spilled on it.
Ooh.
And how could it not when her high school son is carrying a restaurant pitcher full of eggnog to the brim
Just jealous.
with no
lid.
no lid around a corner at warp speed.
Full speed. Not even doing this.
He didn't say corner.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything.
Behind.
He got the pictures from Pizza Hut back in the 80s, filled it to the brim with eggnog, put no lid on it, and said, how fast can I walk
he's
without spilling
And
a
apparently
drop?
it's a tradition. Because he's like, it's our tradition every year. Like every year we make jugs of eggnog.
Maybe it was like a minute to win it game situation.
Reindeer game at home.
2 liters of non-alcoholic eggnog because we all want to be sick to our stomachs.
You think he just shoves that?
I heard the door open. What if I walk lightning fast?
I'll get it.
It was the worst. The part of this movie that was most unbelievable was that scene. Yeah. Like that's not. It didn't happen in a Hallmark movie. That's supposed to take place in real life. And then I do have to mention that this family got together, huddled up, and said, what if we run tech for her performance? Yeah. What if we? Yeah. I know that they for weeks practiced the tech and the sound and the lights. But what if, Bobby, you go get on the spotlight? I'll run the sound. We're running tech.
We really botched career day. We got to make up for it.
It's a tech takeover. It's a tech takeover here on Sugarplummed.
Move over, AV Club.
That's right.
Dad's got it.
You've been practicing for months.
I did this. This tech hasn't changed in 30 years, right, gang? Watch out.
Poor Tanner on the spotlight has one thing.
That's right. Yeah.
He has one thing, and Dad took it from him.
Yeah. Pour me a pitcher of eggnog and watch me work.
That's exactly right. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Let's get to what the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe have it get some clarity. Any questions that we still have? What are we wondering now that we've seen this movie, Bri?
I really wanted a little bit more on how people didn't recognize her. There was that one. Was there only that one mention of the person in the elevator, the janitor, who didn't recognize her, and that was it? That was the only...
That was the thing. My thing
was they established it, and then everyone else didn't recognize her.
Right.
Yeah, I think what happened here is once she goes back into Sugarplummed, then they look at her and they go, "Oh,
she looks
that's
familiar.
her." So I think there's a realization after the fact. The magic wears off. And
so I wonder what she looks like. Does she just look like that, and they don't remember her from TV, or I don't? That's just I'd like a little more on that, a little more detail on how that works.
I'm sure we'll get it in the number 2, which isn't going to be a Sugarplummed movie. You're not going to see it coming.
That's right.
Brett, what are you still wondering about?
I need so much more clarification on what the Harmony Home Sugarplum cinematic universe is.
Yeah.
Because is she a magical? Because in order for it to be a Hallmark parody, she cannot be a magical entity in those movies.
That's right.
She needs to be playing the type A business lady.
Right.
And they show a smorgasbord of the movies where she has different jobs in every one, but they're all named Sugarplum. So it's is the character just constantly getting new corporate jobs and losing them for Christmas every year? Or is the actor's name Sugarplum, like a Christmas Beyonce?
It's got to be that one.
And it's Sugarplum. That was very confusing, but hey, go along with it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, more than fair. Who's gonna break it to our guy Bobby? What's the kid's name? Is it Bob? Max?
Whatever. Let's call him Bobby.
Max.
His new girlfriend is a bully. She's very mean to him during the career day activities, and then suddenly makes it snow. And then he goes viral on TikTok, and she's now nice. Don't forget how she treated you before you were somebody.
Yeah.
She showed you who she was, buddy. She showed you who she was.
Couples counseling, it's gonna happen.
Yes, she's a bully. She's a bully through and through, and just because she's nice to you afterwards doesn't mean that she's nice. It's gonna come back out. Believe you me. Not speaking from experience. Dan?
I want to know how long and to what venues did Carlo Marx travel to serve Sugarplum? Because he's
bouncing around the world.
He serves her at Maggie Lawson's place of business. And we know that Sugarplum is a made-up name. So he goes to the neighbor, she doesn't know Sugarplum's name. So he goes to the neighbor. He's like, all right, I need to serve this person. Who is the person? We don't know their name. So then he's got to go. They're staying with Maggie Lawson. Okay. Well, he's got her name before he shows up to serve her. He's got to go over there. Somebody over there gives him
definitely
the name.
The son, right?
The son. For Bobby is really 100% narkin. Sugarplum. And then he's like,
that sounds kind of clueless.
Does he just decide, I'm going to go to Maggie Lawson's place of business and hope for the best? And then I know what she looks like immediately.
I guess you would go there and ask her.
But she doesn't do that. He runs into her in the hallway and knows immediately that it's her somehow. That whole line where she gets served. I want that universe. I don't necessarily want it as a movie. Maybe just a timeline would be great for me. But yeah.
Maybe it's a digital short of Carlo
It's a digital-
Marx
yeah, just
tracking down.
Yeah,
who
it's
this
like a
person
very
is.
serious detective story. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You call me, I'll find out. I'll find out who. Have you ever wanted to sue somebody but you don't know their name?
Yeah.
Carlo
Or
Marx
where
is
they
your
look
guy.
like, what they look like, where they
Yes,
live.
That's exactly right.
We had a double decker of the week at some point that was like that. Some like dog the bounty hunter
I'm
thing. Yes.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
of
sure
course.
that we have. We did it, Brett. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us again. Tell the people
y'all.
once again about the Pop Heist and where they can find it, all that stuff.
Yes, please go to popheist.com where you can read now I think 15 of my Hallmark holiday movie reviews as well as so much more content. We are, worker-owned, independent, no ads on the entire site. It will not crash your
How about
browser. It
that?
looks gorgeous. Oof, mwah, mwah, mwah. About we need money. So also, subscribe if you want to. And you can follow me on Blue Sky at Brett White. Because that's where the cool kids are now.
That's right.
Is there
I
gonna
just
be
I just joined a few weeks ago, and I'm following you right now. Brett.
Blueski, as
Yeah,
I thought that it was
Blueski.
called at
Blueski.
first.
Yeah,
Blueski.
Blueski.
Throw me a Blueski.
Throw me a Blueski. And is there going to be a? I believe last year you were talking. You promoted your Christmas drag video. Is there something?
Do we
Oh.
got one this year?
Now, I guess the website has taken up all of my
No,
time.
thanks.
But my
Unbelievable.
a very Barb Hardley Christmas is still available to stream on YouTube. I think it's called Christmas and the Hard Luck Lady or Christmas. and the
Bob
Hard Luck
Hardley
Lady.
had
Yeah.
a Twitter account. Have you moved? Has
Barb moved to
moved
Blueski?
over to Blueski as well?
Barb Hardley can be found on the internets at Instagram and
Okay.
YouTube. My YouTube channel is comparatively popping with nerdy drag content. I watched a whole bunch of real UFO videos
Ooh.
in drag and screamed because aliens scare me. So you can
All
watch
right.
that.
Well, I know what I'm doing right after this.
Yeah,
I will watch
Brad
that.
loves the
ASAP.
UFOs.
I love that. That's going to be must-see content for me. Brett, we thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait for you to join us again next year. And may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.